So let's go over our first high school hype squad section of the year. High school football is starting. Did you lose your track on your papers?
I did, and then because they're not numbered, now it's like,
Oh, now I have to number them.
no, well,
That's
you know.
that's the
Can you
first
color
one.
code them too, please?
And Carlos does a great job with our poll, by the way. And so you could spitball this poll 1,000 different ways. So if we're going to err on the side of anything, we should always err on the side of Carlos.
All right, I guess we'll give Carlos a break, but I
Yes.
disagree with some of the ways we ranked him. So let's reveal our TNL top 10. It was revealed yesterday. We have one every week of the high school football season for the next 10 weeks. First up is Steele. Steele, that's not a shocker.
Nope.
They were one step away from a football state championship game last year. Ended up losing in the semifinals. They have a lot of returners, 9 offensive returners this year, 4 defensive returners, Chad Warner, Jalen Cooper, Jonathan Hatton, all coming back. Their offense is going to be stacked. They might score 60 a game.
I'm all for that. I mean, you know, as young as they were last year, and to see them grow up the way they did and as quickly as they did and as dominant as they did. Remember they caught us by storm last year when they just rolled Brennan. And I know
Yeah,
Brennan was young
a young
too.
team,
And then
yeah.
Brennan got hot too. So just love to see it, man. Young guys figure it out pretty quickly. And in Steele's case, they don't ever seem to not figure it out.
Right. Number 2 in the TNL top 10 poll is Reagan. They obviously went undefeated last year. Only loss came in the second round of the playoffs. They got just a brutal draw last year in the playoffs. They kind of got hosed, but that's just me. Lyndon Hamilton's bringing back a lot of his guys, 6 on the offensive side, 6 on the defensive side. Cole Pryor is one of the best running backs in our area,
Amen.
if not the best running back in our area. I mean, Michael Terry probably has something to say about that. But now
Michael Terry would be the best guy at any position on the field in our area.
Very true. Got Caleb Capuccio also coming back. They play Brennan the first week. Saturday night is going to
Nice.
be Brennan versus Reagan this week. So Brennan is number 3 in our TNL top 10 poll. So that's going to be 2-3 right off the bat. We're going to see where everyone stands on that one. And Brennan has a much older team this year, I would say. Caden Glass, the quarterback, is sophomore last year. He's going to have another year under his belt. Brennan should be a team right off the bat that everyone should be looking out for.
Mm-hmm.
That was good input.
I'm here for you, Matt.
Judson is number 4. Mark Soto's squad. They went 4-8 last year, 2-3 in district, but they almost made a run in the playoffs. They started getting hot right at the end of the year. And bringing back Elijah Favela, their quarterback, bringing back Jordan Dukes, Jack Call. You got a lot of guys on this roster that are another year older and are going to be looking to make a run. They play Johnson week 1. Johnson's number 9 in our TNL top 10 poll, so that's going to be another banger on week 1 as well.
Yeah, I think Mark Soto finally got the culture where he wants it, kind of wrangle in the program again, get them all sailing their ships in the right direction. So they will be fascinating to see how they start.
Yeah,
And
especially
if
in
they
the
knock
new
off a
district
couple of,
now too.
Yep.
If that game against Steele is just going to be so fantastic, as it is every season, but this year it feels like it has a little bit more juice. Piper, surprising addition to being this high in the top 10. They're 12-2 last year, a 6-0 in district. They're returning a lot of starters. They do lose their quarterback, Jake South. They got 9 on the offensive side, 6 on the defensive side. One of the best receivers in our area, Isaiah Champagne. He is out of the cast now, and he will be catching balls with both hands instead of just one. I mean, that kid's phenomenal. He played when they played in the Alamo Dome last year. I want to say it was their last game or maybe their second to last game because they ended up losing to Liberty Hill in the regional finals, I think. He made one of the most phenomenal catches I've ever seen, and he had a cast on his wrist. I was like, who is this kid?
That's awesome.
Nick Rogers has that team kind of purring up there. He's a phenomenal coach and phenomenal dude, too.
Yeah, and to think that they've got 15 of their starters back, that's pretty impressive coming off a 12-2 season.
Yeah, Smithson Valley going to be number 6. I think Smithson Valley, this is where our problem with the list comes out because I think they should have been a little bit higher. They got only 3 returning starters on the offensive side, 5 on the defensive side, so I get why they're a little lower, but when you make a state championship game in your division, I think you should be ranked a little bit higher.
And it's Larry Hill.
Yeah.
So, again, if we're going to err, we err on the side of Larry Hill.
Absolutely. It's been a good recipe for a long
Yes.
time. Alamo Heights is 7.
Same with this one.
Alamo Heights is ranked 5 on Dave Campbell's 5A D1 top 10. They're ranked the 5th best team in the state. Yep, they're ranked 7th in our poll here. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Carlos, I love you, but we're gonna have to have a chat about that one. They went 12-1 last year, 9-0 in district. They probably have the best player in our area coming back with Michael Terry. He's already getting offers from Texas, from Oregon, from Nebraska. I think he has 22 Division I offers right now, and he's choosing between those 3. He already took a visit to Texas A&M as well. So they're going to be really, really fun to watch. And finally, Alamo Heights is in a division where they're not going to run roughshod through every single team they play.
Yes, I know there were a lot of schools that were happy that Alamo Heights had moved on and moved out.
Yeah, one of them being Burbank. Burbank is now in a pole position to win their district this year.
You want to skip ahead to Burbank? I heard they got 150 kids in that program.
Do they really?
Yeah, that's freaking awesome that they've done that. You know, Lanier's numbers are way up. I mean, it's really cool to see what these coaches are doing all over town. And I told you, I went out to Lanier. I saw a couple of guys that were freaking dudes.
Yeah.
Running back, wide receiver that were just big, fast, elite. You know, we got players all over town, man. It's going to be a fun year.
It is, 100%. Roosevelt is number 8. Johnson's number 9. Burbank number 10. Just wanted to get all those in there. Roosevelt's playing Smithson Valley, their first game. They got a new head coach, Darnell Barnes, since Matt Carroll left last year. I think he left when his son left as well. His son graduated last year now at UTRGV. So congratulations to the Barnes family. However, they went 6-4 last year, 4-4 in district. 8 returning starters on offense, 7 on defense. So you got a lot of the same guys coming back, and they were a good team last year. They barely missed out on the playoffs. That should be a fun game against Smithson Valley just to see kind of where they are. I don't expect them to win that game because Smithson Valley is that damn good, but that should be a pretty good one this week. Johnson playing Judson this week. Johnson is 9th. They have obviously the biggest loss was Ty Hawkins left. He was probably one. If they had Ty Hawkins, he probably would have been like top 3 in this poll, top 4 maybe in this poll.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
He's one of the most phenomenal players in our area. Obviously, he's going to SMU. He left to go to IMG Academy. Is that what it is? Out in Florida. They went 10-2 last year. It's going to be interesting to see how they go this year without him because word on the street is that they found out kind of in March, April, so they've had a little bit of time to plan for not having him. However, when you lose a player of that caliber, how is the team really going to go, you know?
Well said.
And then Burbank, number 10. So let's get to our first TNL game of the year. TNL is back for their 16th season. You can hear the soothing sounds of Chuck Miketinac on the mic and see me, you know, maybe once a quarter.
Sidekicking with Don Harris. And
yeah, Don Harris.
Matty Roy on the side.
I'll be on the sidelines. Our first game is one of the best rivalries in our area, too. It's O'Connor and Brandeis. O'Connor coming off a rough year a little bit. I mean, 3-7, it's a down year for Dave Molesky for sure. But you know he's going to always have a team ready. I mean, they don't come out and
special teams.
He mentioned it 4 times in the interview.
Did he really?
Special teams, yes. You'll listen to it today because I'm sure you're going to air it today. But.
Well, I'm waiting to talk to him. I hope I get to talk to him before Thursday, obviously. But we always ask him keys to victory when we do a game that he's involved in, and he goes, "It's the same 3 every time. You know that, right?" Like, yes, I know, but I'm just curious to see if something has changed by chance.
How long's he been at O'Connor? 20 plus years, right? It's been a while.
Yeah, he's the face of O'Connor football. That's all I can say. And they had some good coaches there before he got there.
You know, last year when we had an O'Connor game, I was trying to get him at halftime, and he's shifty. I missed him, and so he went into the locker room and didn't get the halftime interview. Coach, I'm coming for you this year. You're not.
Oh, good luck. He's still pretty quick on his feet.
I know. He's agile, man.
Yeah.
He had his arm wrapped around.
Business on game day, man.
He was not happy. He had his arm around a kid. He was talking to him, and I was just like, I'm not going to bother that. Nope.
Yeah.
You guys, we don't get a halftime interview today. Let's hear from Coach Molesky real quick on this matchup with Brandeis and how special this rivalry is.
Start the season off on TNL. How special is that once again that you get to start the season off on TNL against our arguably your biggest rival?
Oh, it's not arguably, it is. I mean, you would have to live under a rock not to understand that in this community and in the Brandeis community too. It's a heck of a way to start off a football season, and so you know that on top of a brand new football season just adds that much more excitement, enthusiasm. Being out here at 6:45 in the morning to practice and getting yourself ready, and so it's not going to be hard to get our kids excited about playing that first game.
And my final question would be, how much more difficult is it? They have a whole new coaching staff over there, so you might not know exactly what to expect look-wise. The in-game challenges are going to be a little bit different.
It is, and it's going to be we'll be constantly adjusting to what they do, and by the same token, they hadn't worked together, and they're going to have to figure out us as well, in the course of it. But, the thing, too, is there's really no difference. I mean, we all have about the same amount of practice and work to get ready for that ball game, and then ultimately it's going to be those kids, playing that are going to be the ones that make the difference.
Chuck, what's this rivalry like between Brandeis and O'Connor? I know they're not in the same district anymore, but it's still one of the best in our area.
Yeah, I mean, I only really can attest to what I saw with my own two eyes in terms of when my own kids were going to Clark. Anytime Clark played any of those schools in that league, and then, if it was Brandeis or O'Connor, like those games had some juice because those kids all live so close together in the same, basically the same backyard. So, I think some of it has to do with the amount of success that both programs have had too, that have added to the rivalry over the years. I mean, these two teams for the longest time, and it didn't really matter the sport, were, two of the bigger bullies on the block. Right. So, the fact that they get to start on week one like this, well, what a challenge for these coaches and players, right? That you get a game like this to begin the season in. We're better for it.
He touched on it a little bit, how different it's going to be. Yes, Keamy Lewis is the new head coach over at Brandeis. I personally have not met the man yet, so I don't really know that much
Good dude.
About him. Have you met him already?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been around a while. And, he's very low-key, very non-demonstrative, very in control of everything that's going on. He's high energy, but not when you see him on the sideline. He's, very much a tactician when it comes to channeling energy and making sure that, if things are going crazy on a football field, all you have to do is look at your coach, and he's sturdy as can be. So he's, one of those up-and-coming young coaches that, I think a lot of people are going to, we'll be talking about it for many, many years to come as one of those guys.
Brandeis is looking to rebound this year. They only went 4-4 in district, 5-6 overall last year. They did make the playoffs, lost in the first round. They have 16 returning starters, so it's going to be a year of maturity, I guess, for them. But also, you wonder how the new coaching staff is going to be able to motivate all these kids and whatnot. So let's hear from Mr. High Energy, Keamy Lewis.
To be able to showcase everything that you guys have worked on this summer and in the fall camp, to be on television to start the season, how exciting is that for you and for this program?
I think it's really good for this community. So it's called our Crush Game. That's what we call it here at Brandeis. So it's a big community type deal. We're going to have a sold-out crowd. It's very good for this community, for these kids to come out and start fast with a rivalry school. So we know O'Connor's going to be ready to go, but we're going to be ready as well.
Do you know much about that rivalry and how intense this rivalry is? I know you've been a part of some of them before. This is one of the big ones in San Antonio.
Most definitely. So I heard about it. Now I'm going to be a part of it. So we can't wait to get there.
It's and Brandeis has won quite a few of these in a row. But as every coach knows, that pendulum eventually will swing the other way. How do you guys got to keep these guys from being complacent?
We just got to make sure that we focus on the game itself and do the right thing. So we're not going to make this game bigger than what it is. It's going to be big for the community. But for us, just focus on the fine details and what we've been practicing, focus on our training.
Obviously, that interview being conducted by the couldn't think of the word, by Jack Green, our wonderful photographer. Illustrious. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. You see, you always got my back, Chuck.
Or mercurial.
There's a lot of adjectives that we can use for him.
But ultimately, the best guy on the planet.
Absolutely. Baldest guy on the planet, too. Hey! So, Brandeis and O'Connor, final thoughts for this week? It's gonna be a fun one this Thursday.
It will, because the thing I admire most about Molesky and what he's done at O'Connor is there's never an excuse. They could be wrecked with injuries. Their season may not be going the way they want it to go. Whatever it is, it's never an excuse to not go win a football game the next time out. So I'm sure he's just as curious as anybody to see what he has opening night and then to see how they build and, try to do better than what they did last year. And then for Brandeis, same thing. I mean, you had a good coach. You got another good coach coming in. You've always got good players at Brandeis. I would imagine they're not going to miss a beat, but that's the beauty of week one, is that you don't know quite what you're going to get. And then, the biggest gains you're going to make during the course of a high school season is from week one to week two. So I think there are going to be some surprises. We know there are going to be some surprises, some gadgetry from Molesky on special teams. That's what always makes these games fun, too. You can't go to sleep or run commercial breaks during punts or extra points or something crazy, because he's going to get you.
He truly is a three-phase coach.
Over, under on onside kicks, 2.
Oh, is that where you're putting this at?
Yes.
1.5. You're taking the over.
Okay, 1.5 is more fair, yes.
So we can't have any pushes in here. So,
right.
This is how we're going to do High School Hype Squad this year. We're not going to have those Wednesday episodes like we had last year. We're going to make it a little bit shorter, do about 20 minutes of high school every Monday. And then we'll post it as a separate podcast a little bit later this week as we get closer and closer to Thursday Night Lights. But I'm excited for another season with you guys.
I'm excited too, Matt. I mean, every year it just feels like it's time, right? We went through the summer, wasn't as hot as it's normally been. I'm grateful for that, but it is time to play some grid ball on a Thursday night, and thankfully it's here.
Thankfully it is. I'm really going to be trying to get on. We have a game on Halloween this year. I'm going to be really trying to get you guys to, put a costume on for the show on that Thursday.
What do they call that? Cosplay?
Cosplay.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I just need to get you guys some devil horns or something to clip on. It won't even be that bad.
Dude.
One angel.
I'm 60 years old, man. I got the old man costume. We'll go with that.
We're keeping you young, Chuck. Come on.
I can be young without participating in cosplay.
Lame. That's all we got for today on the Sneakers and Cleats podcast. Remember to download, rate, review, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, tell a friend, tell an enemy. We'll be back on Thursday. My mom will not be, but she is watching and smiling, and I think she's been recording this whole thing.
She's very proud of you, as she should be. That's cool.
It's on YouTube, right? You are here.
Look at
That's
that.
correct. Anyway, Mom, any embarrassing stories you want to tell? No? All right, cool. Thank God. Bob, anything on the way out?
No, we're good.
All right. That's all we got for today. UTSA. We'll talk a lot of UTSA and college football on Thursday because it is week one of the college football season as well. We'll talk a lot about that on Thursday. Until then, everyone have a good week.